glass mug coloring. Like I mentioned at the end of the previous video for this one, I have sketched this and now I'm going to try not to use black ink marker of any kind. So I'm going to try and use just colored pencils, my blending pencils, and if I can get away with it, some charcoal, willow bark charcoal, and if it works, white chalk. I really don't think this is the right type of paper, and if I use coloring pencils on it first, the chalk is definitely not going to stick. I should have put the chalk down first, but you live and you learn. So at this point, I've sketched most of what I needed, and the coloring will have to kind of compensate with what I did not sketch. I didn't want to get overly detailed about the sketch and pressure myself into being perfect, and I think that would have wrecked my desire to do the project in the first place, and it would have seemed like a chore. So right now I am using a super dark grayish hint of green, and that's just to give the coloring of the background something other than gray. A really good shading artist would not need to use any other colors. The gray scale would be plenty, and they could do it exactly the way it is in the photograph. And eventually, sure, I'd like to get to that point. There is a lot of blues, mostly a teal and a dark blue, and they intermingle in this glass. So that must be what the glass is made of. And then the reflection of the light from the window outside the sky was temporarily, in this northern hemisphere, bright blue. And we only get a few hours of that before it's dark all day and dark all morning. So I had to adjust my sketch image here for this video. So I'm adding the blue and teal, and there's this twist of rainbow that comes from the base thick part of the glass mug, and it reflects on the white countertop. Now the countertop has speckles of blue, pink, and almost a purple. It's like from the 60s, 70s. Nope, it's after that. It's the 80s type of countertop. It's supposed to be white with speckles of colors like a birthday cake. But anyway, so I'll add those very, very last portion of this coloring. And this mug from the dollar store has a big melted crease all through the handle, across the bottom, up the other side. And that's just how it's made. They didn't bother blending that crease. That's okay. But I'm going to put that in there because that added to the light and shadow reflection, made the glass look textured, I guess. Unique, 3D, real. Put your word in there that you think is right. And I tried to get the white glow reflection on the countertop right. I was really aiming for not making this look chunky, but it did. It looks chunky. Chunky like chocolate chip ice cream. Okay, here we go. So there was a lot of black shadows in this glass mug, and it could have been such a deep cobalt blue that I couldn't tell, but to me it looks black, especially in the photograph. I should have paid more attention to it in the real life point when I put my mug on the countertop to take a picture of it. That would have been smart. And there's a lot of background to color that is black. And my pencil is obviously used up from both ends and is nearly too difficult to hold on to. Blending this is better with the blender pencil than trying to blend it with a gray or another black. Obviously, I don't have another one. That's pretty sad. I need to go buy some more art supplies. I've got a blue hint to a lot of the glass. There's a lot of folded, layered, colored parts to the handle. I'm going to show you a close-up of that and how complicated it is. So that is the complication I'm seeing. And there's pink in it. I didn't even know there was pink until I zoomed in. So, okay. Clearly I need to study the photo or the object longer. And there's a lesson learned in this exercise is pay more attention to what you're trying to draw. Take more time to just look at it before you even start sketching. Just stare at it. Okay, so anyway, getting the bottom of the mug, which has a lot of riveted, kind of a sunburst texture. There's a lot of dark around the rim of the mug. There's a lot of blues, strikingly dark blue at the bottom of the mug. And the light is reflecting off that sunburst texture, which is on the bottom side underneath the mug. There's this, oh yes, I did pick up a hot pan today and burnt my hands. I had made chicken in the oven in a metal pan with metal handles. My glass pan just shattered when I put it on the stovetop. So anyways, I have burnt hands right now, and I'm trying to sketch in color. So I got aloe all over my hands and an ice pack, and it's just kind of it's a challenge. So I'm throwing in some teal, and the mug and the water in the mug has a hint of color to it, according to the photo. So you can see there's the countertop is changing the color of the mug and the water. It's just an off-white countertop. Now, if it were a pure white countertop, that would be quite nice. Should just change my countertop and then redraw the mug. I'm kidding. That's where you just interpret things better as an artist. You're like, well, you know what? Let's just make it white. Call it good. So yes, you'll see the ice pack float around here. There's a cool rainbow that pops out of the mug onto the countertop, and it swirls around in what looks like a giant question mark. And right outside the wall of the mug, there's this beam of light that points up on the mug and bubbles down on the countertop, besides the question mark and little rainbow scarf on the left. I doofed up on the rainbow scarf and the question mark. Now that I look at it, that's pathetic. I could have done that way better. But that's what a practice exercise is for, is to realize your downfalls and faults and mistakes, things you miss, and then you can work on it from there. So the next time you do stuff, you pay closer attention, and hopefully your hand will begin to flow with the lines and shapes, shadows and lights. Yeah, that's way too fast to even see that. Thanks, me. That's great. That's great. I tried white charcoal. I have a blender pencil. It's Prisma color. And then I had bamboo charcoal and the white charcoal pencil. And the blender worked great. The blender is straight up wax. It looks tan, flesh toned. The charcoal white tip pencil did not show up much. Number one, there's too much wax on the paper. Number two, the paper's already white. And the blender pencil did an amazing job, actually too well. It blended everything. So I need to learn to be more careful with it. Man, that rainbow scarf bugs me. Oof. Look at that thing. It's just whipping to the side. And I don't know why the shadow bubbles out like that on the left side. Clearly, I didn't realize that was a handle. So yes, always look at your drawing more. Sit there and study it. Okay. So this is a ridiculous shadow thing. Like the entire bottom portion of the page. I'd like to cut that off now. But I'm going to leave it there and look at it. Let the shame sink in. And then eventually learn to do it better. I could even try redrawing this again. Get a different interpretation the next time I draw it. Just smear color all over in the general idea of where things are. You know, like, look, it's perfect. Anyways, right now I'm stippling on the countertop color, which is teal, pink, blue, and it looks like a little kid's birthday cake. You know, like the countertop's got sprinkles on it. Not my favorite countertop. I'd rather have marble. That would have been even harder to sketch this mug. Maybe a solid color countertop or wood. Yeah, that would be great. Yep, I'm going to cut the bottom of the page off. Pretty sure. At this point, I've walked away from the table and I'm still recording. What a waste of my phone memory. I'm going to work on the shadows behind the mug. Work on the shadows that are crisscrossed to the left bottom of the mug, those lines. This is where the blender pencil takes over the majority of the whole page. That's why I knew I needed 3 of them. So I ordered 3 because most of my projects are going to include using the blender pencil enough times to wear it out. And I will always have more projects to work on because I really like drawing and coloring. So this thing is going to catch fire. Look at it go. It's going fast. Yep, just blending that whole bottom. As for the highlights, which is what makes the photo look intriguing, is those highlights. I'm going to have to use a whiteout pen, which is basically a stinky, chunky white liquid that nobody wants on their artwork. And that if you try and draw over it, it gets chipped off and is texturing the page in a very uncool way. Yeah, see? Yeah. Nope, don't use the white chalk. White chalk pencil. Yeah, good luck with that one. You should have used that first. Nice try. Nope, not working. Nope, stop trying. Go get the whiteout marker. Oh, you're still trying. So adding a little bit of white chalk pencil did nothing. I don't think it put much of anything down. And I gave it my best shot. I think I'm on the side trying to sharpen it and it keeps breaking. I've had this white chalk pencil for a long time. It's definitely not my favorite. That's why it's not used up. So the whiteout pen is going to work. Unfortunately, I don't like using it. Yeah, breaks. Yep, see that? That's why that no work. Just really need to work on leaving white portions open, not even sketching anything over them, but to leave the portion just open and not to smudge my hand across the page. You know, having a piece of paper under my hand as I move over the page that I'm drawing on would absolutely help not to smudge everything. Yeah, I'm still trying. Look at that. That's all right. So at one point, I give up trying to sharpen that thing. I try the bamboo charcoal. it is way too late to do this in the wrong type of paper. Everything has to really catch that charcoal for it to stay on the page. So definitely not a sketchbook like I have right here. That would never hold charcoal enough. It's just going to smudge and or be like it is there, blotchy. The wax pencils also made it blotchy because they went down on the paper first. All right, so at this point, hopefully, I get back to work. Where did I go? I left. No, I went to get ice cream. All right, it looks like I'm back. I've eaten my ice cream. And now the task of shading all of this background again to get that deep black shadow on the countertop. Now it's the camera phone that did the greatest contrast of shadow and light. And getting to the edge of the paper, not my favorite thing. I'm sure there's a trick for that, other than just running the pencil straight off the edge, picking it up and doing that again. So I'm going for that. I need to clean up that edge that I just smudged. Oh, that's terrible. Yep. And the shadow of the mug is striking underneath the on the countertop below the mug. It is supposed to be a striking contrast. Right now it looks like the sun is setting on a cooler summer evening, like it should be about 7 or 8 o'clock during the summer, where the sun is still up enough to bring in some light. But all those blues in the mug are definitely not summer spring colors. Anyways, so I'm using a ruler to help edge this. I'm deepening the shadows, making more contrast between the light reflection and the rainbow reflections. Basically, you want to catch the eye. And thank God, God already does an amazing job of this. You don't have to look out the window and be like, everything's muddled and gray. Because you get that when you live in the city, the concrete's gray, the buildings end up looking gray, the clouds in the sky are gray, the plants don't have enough vibrant color. When you're especially up above where it gets dark early in the winter and it doesn't stay light long enough, you're just in a gray cave. There's nothing great about the weather, especially if the snow doesn't stay around. If you don't have any beautiful snow to look at, to run and play in, to draw, nothing. For me, that's a nightmare. I'm sitting in a rain puddle up in the northwest where I should have snow, and I don't get snow. I get gray skies, gray ground. The rain it doesn't even smell good when it rains. So there you go. To an artist, I guess, it's kind of a nightmare living here. Would be so much better. There are a lot more to do, to be outside, a lot more to draw, a lot more photography, enjoying the environment, the sunshine, and get a better whiteout pen. This thing is clogged. I've probably had this whiteout pen for 12 years. That thing is old. So here you get an up-close view of the many points of light that are reflecting on the different parts of the glass. This is what I cannot achieve with the white colored pencil because I have put too much dark color, gray, and smudges all over. And I cannot get that off. Like, even if I scraped and erased, it just wouldn't be worth it. Right at this point, it would be a good idea to restart this whole thing. But because I don't like things half done and I don't want to be discouraged in the middle of trying again, I'm going to finish what I'm doing. That way I can fully learn from it. And at this point, I'm just trying to improve what I got. Sometimes that's all you need to do, is don't even look at the photograph anymore. Follow your sketch. Remember what you see about the photo that was inspiring. It's this rainbow thing down here. And the bright white highlights. And I'll put a little bit of gray over some of that. But these striking pieces of light spears on the countertop was just amazing. The little dots of light, reflections of the water, the texture on the bottom of the glass, which gets double fold exposure to the eye. You see it in the water reflection, and you see it there at the bottom of the glass, that whole sunburst shape. Knowing what your shadows are doing, like that massive, ridiculous, I ruined the shadow of the handle there. That should have continued down in the right direction. That's why you gotta know your object better. There's a handle. The handle doesn't look like that. There's no way the handle can do that. You need to draw the handle so that it actually does the right thing in the shadow reflection. So yes, now the photo is, the art is coming together. My camera phone stopped, so I just picked up where it left off and added more black, deep blue, white highlights, countertop speckles. And I think just before I give up on making this video, I'm going to fix that handle down there on the bottom of the page, and then take a photograph of that. Even though I did it wrong in the video, I'm going to try and do it right for the end of the video. It's like a gamble. Did I notice this? No, it's not going to be fixed when it's done. Wait, I fixed it. Adding a little bit of gray over that white reflection, adding a little bit sharper black shadow right up next to the white reflection helps. It makes the eye see depth of space. To us, the countertop is not flat. In your brain, when you look at a shadow, you are seeing depth of space, as if you could go through space and look out and see the distance between you and the planets and the stars. So your brain is wired to do that. I don't know if anyone ever taught that in school, but honestly, when you look at shadows, your eye and your mind almost seek to see how deep those shadow reflections are. So, therefore, yes, you are created by God. Okay, so there, now it is looking much better with that deepened, darkened shadow on the countertop. These are mostly reflections of the base of the glass, the rise of the bottom centerpiece of glass, those odd wings right to the right and left of that rainbow drop on the countertop, if that makes sense. So this is coming along okay. I can see a lot of the problems that I have made mistakes on, especially making the video of this and trying to do the voiceover. Holy smokes, that's a lot of mistakes. But that's okay. And yeah. So the background, I needed a lot more white dots pretty much everywhere. And I missed some shadow swirl textures back there. And to give things a bright hint of teal, I would almost need Pasco markers. I also reframed from outlining the mug like at all. It's all shadows and light. I didn't use a line. And yes, my camera phone died. So here's me with the blender tool, and I'm going over everything. So to make this a quicker video, blender tool is at rocket speed. Everywhere I want the colors to blend, it shall be done. Sort of. Blender tool will hold on to black though. The colors will stick to the bottom of it. And there it is. The photo I took of this is a little blown out, a little bit too bright. It's kind of, what do I got? Like a space princess with extra arms there in the light reflection. Here it is next to the tablet. So here it is when I fixed the handle of the shadow and kind of tweaked the question mark swirl and the little scarf thingy. So a good practice, good exercise. Thanks for watching and tolerating my voice. Like and subscribe and leave a comment.